Speaking about beating things, Viktor Hovland's finally made a change at the top of his bag. He finally found something that can beat his 425.
Yeah, so it's an interesting. So he is what I would classify as a hard switcher. All right, fully equipped episode. I can't believe it. Episode. You guys have done 280 episodes of fully equipped. Is that a real number?
Yep, it's
Well, welcome to
wild.
Fully Equipped. Today. It's Wade and Wunder today for a special Masters edition of Fully Equipped. Brought to you by Golf Pride and their ever strong, ever durable, ever new Align Max. It's the newest addition to Golf Pride's raised ridge technology. It features a higher, longer, and firmer ridge that runs the full length of the grip for increased hand placement and shot making versatility. Wade, I am a consumer of the Align platform. Where do you sit on rib grips?
I love them. I've been playing Align for a while, and I've been testing these new ones out, and I do enjoy the 25% increase in the raise, mate, on the ribbing. Does help me get my hands where they need to go. So really happy with them. I think Golf Pride's done a good job of making the the ribbing an extra 25% larger, so you can actually feel it a lot more. And I like the colorway. I like the black on the gray. I think it's really cool.
Oh, well, it's kind of old. It's kind of a throwback to something that Ben Hogan used to do. He used to put coat hangers in his grips. That's kind of where it all started. So I want to shout out to Golf Pride for sponsoring Fully Equipped. And if you're looking for more consistency, more natural contours in your hands or your grip, which is probably one of the more important pieces of the golf club because it's the only thing that you interact with, go to golfpride.com to learn more about your grips and the Align Max technology. Okay, my brother, lot to discuss, a lot happening. So currently
A
I'm
lot.
sitting in this little upstairs, kind of my old content office on the Callaway Tour truck. It was the quietest place to go on a busy Wednesday at the Masters. So you're in studio.
Yes,
I don't even
sir.
know where to,
I'm
I
not.
don't even know
I'm
where to
not blessed
start.
enough.
Where do you want to start? Like, what do we want to talk about? There's so much to talk about.
I mean, I think we can. There's so much to talk about. I think we can do a quick run over on last week's tournament where we saw the TaylorMade zero torque putter win its first tournament. I think that's pretty impressive on that side of things. That they've brought that out and its first game out there. Harman put in there, and he hasn't made a putter change for a very long time.
No.
To make a change and then to win a tournament with it straight off the bat's pretty impressive.
Where do you sit on all the torque talk? Like, obviously we've tried a bunch. I've tried a bunch of the lab stuff. I understand why it's a thing. Where do you sit? I'm curious to get your thoughts on the center shafted torque, zero torque, negative
Yeah,
torque thing.
I am yet to find one. I'm yet to find one that fits me. I'm not a big center shafted person. I find it really hard to find square at setup and aim correctly with a center shafted putter. I think the best putter I ever used for center shafted was probably a Seymour, but it's because they had that rifle scope technology, whatever you want to call it, to find square, where it's like hide the red dot. But I've tried lab. I love the feel of a lab putter. I love the roll of a lab putter, but I find that I always miss left when I play
Right.
with a lab putter. Same goes for the Bettinardi. Same goes for the square to square from Odyssey. I just struggle, and I always feel like I'm pulling the ball left because I just can't find that right square position. I always say, like, if they can create a version with like a long neck plumbers to make it face balanced right, or something along those lines, just to pull it back a little bit so I can look at the face a little bit more, I'd
Right.
probably enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Like, I've since getting back on the street, like, lab was one of the things I was most curious about because it's on tour. They're all over the place, right? They went from like a couple of putters a week to like 15 putters a week. Like, that's a huge leap forward. So obviously very curious about them. So this is one thing that I'm trying to put my finger on it, and I'll say this, and and I hope Sam doesn't kill me. There is definitely a thing there, but I don't think it's a thing for everybody. And that's
I
kind of what
agree.
I'm learning. Like, I am I would call a releaser of the putter, and I'm sure Sam and all the people that design these things will have an answer for me. Like, but ultimately, like, putters are as emotional as a piece of golf equipment can get. It's an emotional thing. It's a psychological thing. I'm always a big advocate of if you can hit it out of the middle and you can aim it, it's a good putter. Like, I don't care what it looks like. It could look like a foot, but if you can aim it and you hit it out of the middle, it's probably, you can make it work. What I'm experiencing with the Lab and with center and with all of them, and I hit the TaylorMade one too, and I've hit the Ping one, and they're beautiful looking putters. I understand. Like you, I was never a center shafted guy. I have a long, torrid history with center shafted putters. The first time I putted one was a Seymour, which is a beautiful putter I got when I was a WRX. Shot 67 with it. Couldn't miss from 30 feet, and thought I was going to go on tour the next day. And 2 days later, I played with the same putter. Couldn't hit the hole from 2 feet and shot 79. And then that was it. I was like, okay, I can't do it. So this is my take. One is I don't think they're for everybody. I think they are a very, very awesome Band-Aid to have if you are really struggling. It's a nice reset to get you back to get the path together if you're way out of line. I think for the right player, they're unbelievable. But if you take, like, I'll use Charlie Howe, for example, who's been using a Lab for a while. He's tried the PXG. He's tried a bunch of these center shafted torquey putters. And he's like, I don't understand because I'm hitting really good putts. Like, I'm hitting them out of the middle. They're rolling really good, but I can't make a 12-footer. I have to be on to putt well with this thing. And I'm like, well, because you're a releaser of the putter head, meaning like you release it so that when you have something that's resisting torque as much as these things do, for better players, if you have any kind of sensitivity in your hands or your fingers, unless you're going to resign to the fact that you're just barely going to touch the putter, you're going to barely hold on to it and just let the putter swing you, essentially, you're going to fight the overcorrection. So What you experience is the same thing I experience. When I have like a 6 footer, like a 6 foot left to right putt, it's going two cups to the left. Right? I was pulling everything. And the reason why is because I would make a stroke and I'm instinctively trying to release it or trying to do whatever it is I do to hit a putt. And the putter's overcorrecting while I'm making manipulations to try and hold it on line.
Yep.
And like Sam said to me on the phone, so the same thing I'm telling you, same thing I said to Sam. He's like, well, there's this drill you can do and it really helps. And I tried the drill and it really, really helped. Like 10 straight 10 footers all day long. It's when you get to the breaky putts is when it starts to get weird for me. Straight putts are straight putts. But like left to right to left, it gets funny.
Yeah, when I was up in Eugene a couple of years ago, I met with Sam at his office and kind of went through the build process and everything. And one of the things that he said was, it's if you accelerate through the ball, it's very hard to utilize his technology. That's why he always gives you those drills to kind of get to that motion of letting gravity take its handle and do what it needs to do. Personally, for me, I think and I've said this before, and I agree with you, and I've said it before on the show. It's going to be for some people. It's not going to be for everybody. But where I think if you truly want to try something like this to see if it's going to work for you is get it in a broomstick. Mm-hmm. And roll it in a broomstick, because I think broomstick is the true definition of just letting gravity do what it needs to do without accelerating through the ball.
Because the putter's sitting up like this, right? It's straight up and down.
Exactly.
For the most part, right.
So for me, whenever I've like tested it in a broomstick, and DJ, who you know very well as well, he rolls the ball so well and he's got an Odyssey putter, but he was using the broomstick version of it and he couldn't miss. And he's like, am I a broomstick putter? I can't be a broomstick putter. But if you do want to try something like this, I do recommend trying in the broomstick version, just because I think that's going to give you the true lens of what a zero torque, square to square, whatever you want to call it, putter can really achieve for you.
Yeah, and it's, like I understand trying to market it for everybody. Like, Odyssey's, trying to market square to square to everybody. And, whenever you get a piece of technology that sort of like the baseline idea behind the technology is forgiveness and, whatever, better dispersion or whatever it's going to be, right? The only time when it comes to a putter, like this is where, like, for example, Odyssey was really, really good. Is, they got a lot of mileage out of the face. So like AI face, for example, was a legitimate ball. It was a ball speed play out of the face. It was like you're getting an increased ball speed out of the face on misses. Like that's a thing for most golfers. But when you start to mess with center of gravity and you start to mess with torque, I've seen bad putters be made into decent putters with Lab. I've never seen a good putter get to be a phenomenal putter with a Lab, right? And that's me watching it on tour. right? So, like I understand why it's like why it's popular, and I understand why everybody's trying to get their hand in, because it is going to be a legitimate market demographic going forward. You know, it'll be 20-25% of the putters sold now will be some sort of a torque story, at least for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
So it's a legitimate business. I just, as somebody that covers equipment, like I can tell you guys, like it could be for you, but it's not a catch-all. It's definitely not a catch-all piece of technology, and that's not to knock what everybody's trying to do. You got to be. It's one of those putters you have to get fit into. Like somebody has to try it against other things, and people have to say this is the best putter for you.
100%. And I would also say, in all honesty, if you are struggling with your putting and you're looking for something, if lab doesn't work for you or a square to square zero torque doesn't work for you, try a longer counterbalance putter. Help the counterbalance of a long counterbalance putter. And I play a longer putter with a 40-gram weight in the butt. Very much does help me stay on plane. Very much does help me get square to square, whatever you want to call it. There are so many different options out there for you to try. I think that's the other reason also why Odyssey's putters did so well with the Jailbird when it came out, because everyone was playing it as a counterbalance putter.
Right.
And that started a pretty interesting craze that's been going on too. Like if you actually look at it on the tour, you're going to notice a lot of people are playing counterbalance or they're playing zero torque, and now they're starting to bring it together. Like Harman's putter that he played with on the weekend was counterbalanced and zero torque.
Right. Well, yeah, it's funny. Like, if you take Jailbird, for example, Jailbird was sneaky because Jailbird actually did work for a lot of players. And the reason why is if you were a blade putter or if you were a mallet putter, it had such a low and back CG to it that if you released the putter blade, it worked for some players. If you were a square to square player, it worked. And I think a lot of it was kind of a happy mistake of how the head's constructed. That's why it's still to this day a popular shape out on tour. It's because it's kind of like the 7 shapes that, like the Odyssey has, and like the spider shape, some shapes just kind of work for everybody. Not a lot of them, but some of them do. And a lot of that's also because you can play with the neck. You can go double bend, you can go crank hosel, you can go slant. But these zero torque putters, you can't do that. I mean, it's a shaft. You either lean it, you don't, and it's right in the middle of the shaft. And so you have to concede a few things when it comes to these putters. You have to concede the fact that it's going to be center shafted. You have to concede the fact that you're not going to see a lot of the face, right? Like the face is going to be with onset, so it's going to be in front of you. And third, you have to accept the fact that the putter is going to do most of the work. So if you have any sensitivity or if you have any ownership over your putting stroke, that putter is either going to work with you or it's going to resist you. And you're seeing that a lot with a lot of this golf equipment. Like, if I was going to equate it to anything, like back to my Callaway days, I would say like AI Smart Face worked for a lot of people, except for the players that really like to shape the ball. Like it took a second because it overcorrected. It overcorrected typically what a player would want to see in some cases.
Yeah.
So, you got to pay attention to that. So again, like to the people out that are listening to the show, like you got to get fit. I mean, if you're going to spend that much money on a piece of golf equipment, especially those lab putters are like $700-800,
yeah,
like somebody better hand it to you and say like we've tested everything and this is the right putter. Like, you know what I mean?
Or you can just be a psycho like me, and probably you as well, and just have 15 putters in your garage and go, this is the one I'm going to take out today.
You could do that too, but the funny thing is like I've gotten so many putters over the last month, and I'm still going to end up with a putter that I've been putting with the last 2 years. Like I still don't roll anything even near as good as I roll the one I have. And I don't know.
What are you playing right now?
I have a 36-inch counterbalance Jailbird, like the first one with a micro hinge. So it's not AI1. Nice. It's and I have 2 of them. Cody Hill on the Odyssey truck made them for me. And I've taken them to fitters. I've gone to the OEMs and done the whole putter routine with 3 OEMs now, and all of them to a man said, I can't beat this thing. Like, I could give you a putter if you want one, but I'm not going to make it any better than this one. Which is exactly what I want to hear. Like, I don't want another putter if I don't need one. So
why would you? Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead.
And then speaking about beating things, Viktor Hovland's finally made a change at the top of his bag. He finally found something that can beat his 425.
Yeah. So it's an interesting. So he is what I would classify as a hard switcher. So And we did a video on it, which I should post on social today or tomorrow, on the truck
Awesome.
with Ket Notes. That is it's kind of every player has an assigned tour rep to them, and they all kind of work in pods, right? So Victor's part of Ketten's pod, and they sent him a bunch of heads at the end of last year, like October in the fall. Like, this is the new head. Give him a try. And the biggest challenge that they had with 430 was they didn't make it in a really low loft. So they didn't make it in like a 7.5. So what they were having to do is they were having to get a 9 head or a low lofted 9 head and then open the face up and do all sorts of stuff to get it to a spot that Vic could make it work at, right? So, and at the same breath, you also have to make it flat. So, you have to put it in a certain setting for Vic. So sometimes when you make the face flat, or if you make the lie angle flat, it's either going to open the face or close the face. I think when you make it flat, I think it actually adds a little bit of loft. I think is kind of how it works. So, and I don't know, it's kind of different for whatever cog that you have. So with a 440, they actually made some 7.5 heads for him, specifically for Vic. So they were able to get a low lofted enough head. They were able to put it on the right cog. So now he's got a 7.75 head or 7.5 head. I forget exactly what the spec is. But they sent him some heads, these 7.5 heads, when they came in. And this is like in February. So a couple of weeks, 4 weeks ago. And just kind of hit and hope. Here's 5 heads, throw them on a shaft. They're all weighed to swing weight out correctly. Hit them at home. Let me know what you think. And I guess Victor's response was kind of like, not now, not swinging it very good right now. But
I just won a tournament.
Yeah, well, no, this is before that.
That's what I'm saying.
So this is funny. So Kenton sends these heads off, and Vic's like, okay, not now. And Kenton's like, yeah, whatever, in your own time. So then he wins. So now Kenton's like, this driver's never going to see the light of day. Like, there's no way this guy's switching. And then oddly enough, Victor texted him and said, hey, look, like, I got these heads. I hit them. They're good. I think one of these is actually going to work. And they came to Augusta, kind of fine-tuned it a little bit on Monday, and it looks like it's going to go in the bag on Thursday. And he even said it in his press conference. And it's got the shaft that he's got in it is a 6TX Velo Plus Black, which is extremely different field than the TR he was in before, which is really boardy. This one's got a little bit more play, a little bit more kick. And I guess his numbers are on point. He picked up some ball speed. I guess he's touching 180 with this thing, and dispersion got a little bit tighter. And so, like, for somebody like Vic Hovland to switch week of a major, like, that's saying something about that driver. And what I'm noticing with the 440 is it's kind of becoming the driver this year. Like, it really is. Like, it's just gaining popularity, and as people test it and try it, is it the longest thing out there? No. Is it the most efficient thing out there? I think so. And I think that's what people are noticing is it's very, very efficient.
Yep. If you've got speed, like if you've got a lot of speed, 440 LST or 440 Max is going to be a great driver for you. Because if you lose 10 yards, but it's going to go straight every time on the efficiency side of things, who cares? What
difference does it make? Yeah, so like it historically, all the really, really, really fast players played ping drivers. Because they had, and it was not 10 yards, it was like 5 yards to give on average.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if they're going to take the difference between a Callaway and a ping, it's usually 5 or 6 yards in the air. It's not a ton, it's enough. But like Cam Champ, Finau, guys like that, Bubba Watson, all those fast guys all played ping because they could swing as hard as they want to and the ball still out in front of them. So, yeah, that's pretty big news. The other big thing that kind of happened out this week is Minwoo Lee's going to put a mini driver in this week.
Nice.
Which is an interesting story because, he would seem the least likely candidate for a mini driver because he's so long and he's got that 2-iron and, he's pretty decent. I don't want to say a decent 3-wood player, but good enough 3-wood player. But Kellen Watson's his fitter for Callaway and they're out in the range. And this is, and for the gearheads and the people that really understand numbers, Minwoo Lee's getting 180, 181 ball speed out of this mini driver at 33 to 3,600 RPMs a spin. So to have that much spin at that speed is a legitimate advantage over 65% of the field. So if you're hitting it that far, go ahead.
What's he taking out of the bag for the mini driver?
His 3-wood.
Taking the 3-wood out.
Yeah, so he goes driver, mini driver, and then he's got that chicken stick 2-iron that he hits 250, 260 in the air.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, around Augusta, that's all you need. And the opinion around here on this truck anyway is that he's going to keep it in, not every week, but like Oakmont, Quail Hollow, places where there's a lot of bottlenecks in some of these fairways when you get out past 300 yards. Like, that's ideal. And the fact that he can fling it out there 290 in the air with spin and stop it in the fairway, like, that is a humongous advantage. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how much of an advantage that is.
That's just crazy numbers as well with a mini driver. Like, that's to get 180 speed at, you said 3,400 RPM of spin and knock it out there 290 carry. It's just, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Is he playing at 13 and a half?
He's at 13 and a half. It's actually at 13.7. I put it on my Instagram. All the specs are on my Instagram, but it's 40. Okay. It's 43 inches. So it's like normal 3-wood length. So it's a little shorter than a normal mini driver. It's like D4. Yeah. It's got a vintage blue 9X in it. So it's got just a brick shithouse, driver, like a driver shaft or like a 5-wood shaft in it. And I'm curious to see, like, I saw a picture in Getty of him hitting it on 13 yesterday. So I think it's going to be fun to watch how he hits this thing. It's either going to be the ultimate weapon or it's going to make it a week. I don't know. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, we'll all be watching. My Australian brethren over there, I'll be watching him, hoping he gets the job done. I always love to watch my Australian brethren play in this tournament. We got Minwoo, we got Day, we got Cam. Should be a good tournament in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Smith's swinging it good. Boy, I tell you what, I haven't seen him a lot live. Like, I used to watch him in my first couple of years out on tour. You pass by him and watch him hit balls for a little bit, but I watched him we were out at LIV Miami last week, and I watched him hit balls for like a half hour. He's impressive, man.
Yeah.
Cam Smith's impressive.
Yeah, he's good. He's a great ball striker and he's great on the greens. If he's putting well, he's hard to beat.
Yeah, he is really fun to watch, and because he doesn't. There's nothing manufactured about his golf swing. His golf swing, I feel like he's been swinging that way since he was a kid. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's a little across the line, but he's got plenty of speed. He's a great iron player. So yeah, he could be salty this week. The player that I watched last week, that's a past Masters champion that I really think could actually be I think Sergio Garcia is going to do something this week. I don't know if he's going to win.
You think?
He's going to be around there. Dude, I'm telling you what, this guy's playing some golf right now. Sergio Garcia is playing some golf, and
he finished second. He finished second at the LIV last week.
Yeah, and he won. He won like 2 weeks prior.
Huh.
And Doral is. I don't know the last time we went out to Doral. That's the toughest golf course, and I got to imagine it's got to be one of the top 5 toughest golf courses in the country.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see that. Some other cool little nuggets, from out here, like Jon Rahm, I think, has signed a deal with True Links. So if you look at his shoes this week, he's got some really cool True Links Rambos on, which makes me happy because those are my Washington State boys. It's Ryan Moore, Jason Moore, Ryan Moore's brother, is the.
Yeah, we sell True Links. We're on Fairway, Jockey.
Yeah, so that's a big deal, and then. That's pretty much all the nuggies, I guess, from the Masters. What are your golf plans? Like, let's talk about our own golf games here before we wrap this thing up. What's going on with your golf game right now?
Golf game's feeling pretty good at the moment, actually. I've been going through some hip issues as of late, so trying to get through that. But my game is in a really good spot. I'm down to a 1.4 index.
Oh, wow.
So pretty close. Yeah, so pretty close to getting down to that scratch mark. Biggest thing for me is putting. I'm just trying to practice putting as much as I can. I think it's more my green reading than anything. I think I struggle reading greens in Arizona. And if you haven't played golf in Arizona, guys, it is the gnarliest thing in the world because you'll see something breaking left and then you'll putt the ball and it will break right and someone will turn around and go, yeah, it's because Camelback Mountain's over there. And there's a vortex or you're in the valley or this or that. And it's just wild. So really just working on my putting. Outside of that, short game feels really good. My irons feel really good. Chris and I did a video which we'll release next week on Mini Driver. I took a mini driver and a 11.5 degree, clicked it down to 10.5 degrees, and
Okay.
put in a 45, put in a playing length of 45 inches. And the results are wild, like wild dispersion, distance, all of that stuff. So thinking about putting a mini driver in my bag as my driver. But so that'll come out next week, just because the product we tested with cannot be it doesn't get released till next week. But outside of that, game's feeling pretty good, man. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't get to practice as much as I would like to, just because I got two young kids and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't care. I much prefer hanging out with the kiddos than anything. But yeah, game feels like it's in a good spot. What about you?
Well, I have. It's going to be fun because this is the first summer I'll have like a little man cave. I'm doing that, studio in Toronto, so I'll actually be able to work on my game, which is going to be fun. I have been hitting balls a little bit. I think the bag's like 95% cooked. There's like the last order of business is just making sure the driver that I like is the one I'm going to play. But everything
Yeah,
else is like super dialed. So really excited about that. And Golf Pride actually, or one of our sponsors of our show, is helping out with my studio. So it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to do a little build shop and
that's cool.
TrackMan studio and the whole thing. But
Heck yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. Like I'm going to try and play 30 or 40 times here this summer. Usually it's about 5 or 6. Like I'm going to try and crank up the
There you
golf.
go.
I'm going to try and play a lot and just get the game sharp. So I'm looking forward. Like next week, actually next week we'll talk about I'll kind of run through my what's in the bag next week. Which
Awesome.
should be a fun. To end, do you know one thing that I actually hit that was really really cool? And I think we talked about this a little bit. I went back on those Cobra irons again after we talked about them on the last show. Jesus
The
Christ, man.
3Ds.
God,
They're so good.
they're unbelievable. They're
They're so good.
unbelievable. I wish I could find the only thing that if I was going to be nitpicky about them, I wish they had a little bit of offset, just a
Sure.
little bit. Like that's it. If they had a little bit of offset, then I think like that would be like a set I could play until I was 7 years old. Like they're really good.
I,
Um,
I am struggling to get them out of the bag. Like, and I don't want to get them out of the bag, but like, I play around with them, and I'm just like, they feel incredible. They feel like a forged iron, and they are just so forgiving.
yeah, they're really awesome. And the other thing that I hit that was super interesting. I don't know if you guys saw that on my social media, but I hit that crank like 15 wood. Did you see that thing? It's like a 39-degree fairway wood. Did you see that?
You hit it? Yeah, I saw you
I
posted. Did
I
you
hit
hit that?
it's a God bless crank because the drivers are really cool, and I hit their driver. The driver's fantastic. The 15 wood is not it's not a thing. Like I hit 3 shots with it, and I think it was like a wedge. Like it launched like a wedge. Like went straight out. It's one of those
Really?
things like when you're in a hitting bay and you hit like a lob wedge and it kind of hits the ceiling. I had
Yeah.
a couple of balls that I hit solid that were like trying to get up by the ceiling. Like I was like, this is
Just
not
went.
no, there's no chance. There's no chance. Uh, maybe for like my dad, maybe. But
Yeah.
it was just a wild scene. So that got put away pretty quickly. But we do got to do a quick little read here for the fully equipped store.
T-commerce?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so you can see I'm wearing my T-commerce T-shirt again with the fully equipped logo on it. I went to shop.golf.com, chose fully equipped, and then they've got all the brands you could want. This is a Lululemon T-shirt, but they've got Holdness and Bourne. They've got all the big guys that you could ever think about. You go on there, you can pick what kind of a garment you want. Is it an accessory where you want a golf towel? Is it a pullover or a hoodie? Or is it a t-shirt, a polo, 3/4 zip, hats, whatever it is that you want, you go on there and it's going to have the fully equipped logo on there for you. Add it to cart, push purchase, and it's a Shopify website, so it's pretty easy to be able to purchase through it. And once again, it's shop.golf.com. I got my gear in about a week and a half. It's all printed on demand, so once you order it, it then goes into printing. So it takes a little bit longer, but outside of that, everything came in a really timely manner. And the quality is really good. Like the stitching, the embroidery on this is pretty incredible. Like I'm really, really happy with it.
Really quick before we hang this thing up, Wade, did you watch Trottie and Tiger's YouTube video? What's in the bag?
I have not. I have not. I actually saw it. I saw it, and I want to watch it once we get off this call.
Go watch it. And I am the last person to say that was a great what's in the bag, because there's what's in the bag videos everywhere, right? And there's some better than others.
Yeah.
Hats off to Trottie. He did a great job, because he asked Tiger questions that he asked good questions to get good answers.
Yeah.
And if you want to truly understand, somebody that understands equipment, efficient equipment, how to make a bag efficient, go watch that video, because he talks about stuff that I've known forever. I've written multiple articles on Tiger Woods gear, but just to hear it out of his own mouth, him talk about spin, him talk about liking to see loft, him talk about how he uses a 56, how he talks about going really heavy in swing weight with his wedges, which is super old school because you can feel the head on off-speed shots. Really, really interesting stuff, but it's stuff that literally a 15 handicapper could adopt and get better. And very rarely anywhere in this little what's in the bag video did Tiger talk about hitting it further. It was always about control. You got to watch it. It's pretty sick. Those boys did a great job.
I'll check it out straight away, mate.
That's it for Wade and I, but we'll see you next week.
Yes,
and
buddy.
Who do you got winning the Masters there, pal?
I would love Rory to win. I think Scheffler's going to win. And I would love Rory or Day to win, but I think Scheffler's going to win. He's just coming into such good form.
My answer is the best for the game would be Rory or somebody. The three best scenarios are Rory winning, Bryson winning, or Joaquin Niemann winning, or Rahm. So it's either Rory for the tour or one of the top LIV players.
There you go.
That would be what's good for professional golf, but we'll see.
I tend to agree. All right, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your time up in Augusta. I'm very jealous that you're there. But have a lot of fun, watch a lot of golf, and enjoy some pimento cheese, my guy.
We will. Next year, you come with me.
Done. I would love to. I've never been.
All right, partner. That's
right,
Fully Equipped. Episode 280. We're done. We're out of here. Adios.
Peace.